when we were creating, I'll tell you a lot about Livspace, but that's not even the point. It's almost it's like a personal story. So when you create startups, and those startups start doing well, and they're all you esteemed people who have been a part of this industry for so long, and you are here to listen to me talk about what's happening in this industry. I as an entrepreneur actually feel very, very honored. So thank you for giving me the 15, 20 minutes to talk. I'll keep it largely conversational. So sort of take you through the journey, what we are doing for the industry, and how we collectively see the evolution come together. So before we jump into this, I'll little bit about how this idea kind of came together. I grew up in India. Like probably most of us here, I went to IIT Kanpur. As a kid, I left India very, very early. So मैं कानपुर का हूँ. So मेरी हिंदी भी अच्छी है और अंग्रेजी eventually अमेरिका में जाके अच्छी होगी. So I left there, worked for a startup internet industry में. So all I know is really the internet very, very well. Eventually, I left a startup, joined Google in 2006. So got married and so forth and so on. So we bought our first house in San Francisco, bought another house in London. So तब तक मुझे ये नहीं पता था कि home design करके क्या होता है. You know, it's how big it is, how much time it takes, how complicated it is, how extremely experienced and evolved the industry is. So when I started designing my own home in San Francisco, it took me 1 year, right? And there was not even one modular component in that, right? When we started doing a London home, I was like, इसको कराने के लिए तो मुझे नौकरी छोड़नी पड़ेगी, right? So at that point in time, you know, me partly from the internet industry and as a consumer, sort of realized that there is so much amazingness, beauty, choice, industrial design technology, all the work that the modular folks have done, all the folks on interior design, and companies like, I'm sure you guys have used products from a company called Autodesk, Adobe, you know, all these people. So a lot of the softwares that I think all you great people use typically was created in the 80s, 90s. So partly it's the same challenge which happened right now, right? So all of the software environment that they've built for the design industry is fundamentally desktop oriented. So, and the consumers today has moved to the web. So, you know, the people understand the internet, people trust the internet right now. I largely said that there is definitely a way for me to use all that I've learned in the world of the internet, and then sort of try and solve my own problem as a consumer. But then philosophically, there were two conceptual, thoughts that I had as an entrepreneur. And I think the first speaker, Mr. Jadhav, right? He actually mentioned a beautiful point. Actually, that design is beautiful when you actually take design to everybody, right? Matlab, Picasso ki to ek drawing hai. So, you know, to see the Picasso, this thing, you may actually have to go to like art studios or galleries in Barcelona or Paris or whatever. So my instinct at that point in time was that is there a way such that you can create beautiful design, right? But not only create beautiful design, create an experience such that everybody in the ecosystem can experience it, right? So I really liked what he said, and fundamentally that's really why I started working on the idea of Livspace. This was 2014, and I was still in America at that point in time. But I'm Indian. India is very exciting these days. Lots of people are buying homes. People like the internet. Lots of innovation is happening. So for all kind of reasons, we thought we would launch the company here. And if I think a lot of you would have seen a company called House.com. If you're interior designers, I'm sure you'd know House.com, or if you're architectural studios. So the if you see like House में you can see lots of pictures, right? The problem with House is कि अगर आप बोलो कि यार मुझे अपना घर उस picture जैसा बनाना है, तो फिर बहुत problem हो जाती है, because the products in the pictures must have been sourced from wherever possible, Italy, studios, Vermont, India, Falana. So the other instinct and the innovation or the innovating thought was, can we as a company first create a standardized catalog for the full home design situation, experience, opportunity, which means modular industry, loose furniture, decor, services, turnkey contracting, falana dhimkana. So when you can actually create like a standardized catalog, then you start making pictures from that standardized catalog, then it becomes easy, right? So in effect, the vision really of the company was, can we build an e-commerce company first, which is build a catalog, build a supply chain behind it, and then build a technology to actually create lots of beautiful pictures very, very quickly of it. So that's exactly how the idea of Livspace came together. Bas, can you toggle me back to the presentation? Yeah. So I'll just give you a quick walk down into what we are doing. I just want to sort of take you guys through the experience. Largely the spirit is that we are also an e-commerce company, but Livspace is more a technology company. It's an internet company. So the class of things that we are creating, building in the company actually really is for the first time unifying the industry in some sense. And hopefully you'll sort of see how. So as I said, it's really honestly the world's first attempt to create an end-to-end home design experience wherein various participants, whether it's the consumer who's effectively buying a kitchen, wardrobe, sometimes loose furniture sets, sometimes getting one room design, sometimes getting the entire home design. They can come to our website, and I'll show you the experience which we've created. But then they can also work very closely with interior designers and project managers and suppliers in the industry to make sure that they can actually convert their homes, make it very, very beautiful, very, very quickly, right? So unlike my personal experience that lasted 1 year, in part what we want to do with Livspace is that anybody can actually make their home look beautiful in a matter of 10 to 12 weeks. And those designs that you actually see on our website could actually be created anywhere. So why can't it be like, I bought a home in Delhi today, and I really want to make my living room look like Italy or Milan, and can I actually do that in a matter of 12 weeks? It's a complicated problem to solve. So that's the class of problem that we are sort of solving through Livspace. So I'll take you through this thing. We're well covered. The industry has been very kind on us. We launched in 2015 beginning, and ever since, honestly, we've just launched the experience in its full shape in Bangalore. So we've been in the Bangalore market now for in doing homes for about 6 to 9 months, and the industry has been very, very kind in terms of recognizing the innovation behind Livspace and the fact that we're actually working to organize a very complicated problem. It's a fragmented industry. So that's that. A little bit about us. I think actually Gopalji was kind to take his pictures out of this one. But when we built the company, I think we realized that इसमें 3 type के skill बहुत important है, right? So I'm sorry for those of you who are from outside India. I'm mixing my English with Hindi, but what I'm trying to say is that there are 3 to 4 skills that were required when we were building Livspace. So one, of course, was somebody who actually understands home design itself as a faculty. So Shagufta, who is the girl in the middle, she actually built a company called Space Matrix. She also happens to be my sister-in-law, actually. So Space Matrix is one of the largest office interior company in the world. It's about 5th, 6th. So for the last 10, 15 years, I've actually seen the industry pretty closely, but from an office perspective. So a lot of that is modular class, as you guys know. But she actually has a phenomenal understanding of sourcing, supply chain, how to onboard the right kind of products into our catalog. So that was the first thing. The 2 other critical skills when you're building this class of company is somebody who's a very good engineer, e-commerce engineer. So Ramakant, who is my co-founder, built a company called Myntra.com. So I'm sure Myntra aapne suna hoga. It's a large fashion e-commerce company. He was one of the co-founders, the CTO for that company, and I understand the internet. So some of the products that I've worked in the past include Google Maps. Aap sab use karte honge. So a lot of the experience on Google Maps was sort of created by me. So the 3 of us came together and we were like, well, it's as much a technology problem as it's a design problem. So we have to understand these 2 streams and then kind of create an interesting experience for consumers. So effectively, and I'll tell you what we want to be, what we are for the consumer and for designers and project managers. So really for consumers, I mean, consumers don't care. Consumers really want the best experience. They want to make their homes look beautiful. They want to do it in a very predictable, price transparent way. They want to do it in, less than 6 months, 9 months, 10 months that it takes today. So one of the principal vision that we have at Livspace is to make sure that can we improve the customer experience itself by 100 times, meaning the best quality product, the best quality design, price transparency. When you say 12 weeks, you can do it in 12 weeks. There is warranties built in, there's strong customer service built in this industry. And but the interesting thing also that we realized was that the customer in this situation, whether they're doing a room or a kitchen or a full home design, is spending a lot of money, right? Because their budgets are large. So, and typical internet, if you see, so Myntra, like I'm sure many of you have known, you buy a t-shirt on Myntra, you spend how much? 250 rupees. You get one room design, you actually spend 1 lakh, right? So conceptually, the industry itself is very, very different, wherein the customer wants trust, they want expertise, because this is, you're talking about their home, and they also have faced a lot of problem in this industry. So we had to create not necessarily only an e-commerce company, but an e-commerce company with a slight twist, wherein consumers can actually come in, get a lot of interesting experience online, but also they're able to interact with our people offline. There's a customer service element to it. So we were really sort of the first company in our space all across the world, wherein we brought a lot of traffic to our websites online, showed them designs, furniture products, modulars, so forth and so on. But at the same time, because the customer was spending a lot of money, they really wanted to talk to someone, right? Now, when you're someone like me who's worked his life as Google, we've only created products to keep people away from people, right? So the first big learning for me was that we have to create an experience wherein customers can actually still have an internet experience, but talk to interior designers. So we acquired 2 companies, ek Dwellin karke company or Design Up, which is a community of interior designers. I'm sure a lot of you people may have heard about them. And we've recently started working more with studios and so forth and so on. We also have an in-house team of interior designers just to learn the industry. But about 15 to 2,000 designers, Gopalji, right, about on the platform now. So what we thought that if the customer can actually get internet class experience, but still work very, very closely with designers. Ab designers ki challenge kya hai? Catalog is a problem, so sourcing products is a big problem, right? Then the software that you guys use, whether it's AutoCAD, 3ds Max, V-Ray, ye nahi wo nahi, wo sare ke sare, they're expensive and they're all built on the desktop. So that's a hard problem to solve because these are all expensive softwares. So one of the challenges that we actually solved for the designers was, and I'll show you, was that we actually built this entire experience on the web. So you can actually come, if you're a designer, you can come to Livspace, certify yourself with us, get access to our standard catalog, which has everything pretty much. Then it's an experience on the web wherein you can drag and drop furniture onto a layout, and then press a button, it generates a 3-dimensional view. Press a button, it sends it to the consumer on our mobile phone. So the experience that the consumer now gets is completely on the web. But the beauty for the designers is that they can work very, very quickly, right? So we've seen that the same interior designers who used to do 4 to 5 projects, honestly a year, can actually do 25 to 30 projects with us because catalog standardized hai, technology standardized hai, customer experience is world class, and we work with a lot of project managers as well. So all the project managers that we have today work for us in the company, and we are innovating a lot of or creating a lot of software tools for them to make sure that when the design project starts, we can really complete it in 2 to 3 weeks. So there is a lot of interesting things happening, which is sort of partly the opportunity and why Gopal and I were very interested in coming and talking to the communities, that we, as opposed to traditional e-commerce companies, I mean, which is honestly sort of taking away the consumer experience element of this industry, really want to work within the ecosystem, whether it includes suppliers or interior designers, project managers, at some stage turnkey contractors as well, wherein the customer still gets the best in-person experience, but everything is standardized, very, very quick, very, very fast, very, very technology savvy. So that's what we've sort of created with Livspace. And as I mentioned, I mean, the mission is very, very simple. It's like the gentleman said, is can we make everyone's home look beautiful, and really taking all the design expertise that we are creating at Livspace to the masses. This I actually talked about a little bit. I think the interesting thing that we are sort of doing for interior designers is that right from day one, wherein part of the problem is how do you even get access to the customer, right? And customers today are all over the internet. वो Facebook में जा रहे हैं, या करे, ये करे, वो करे. So you cannot imagine that we on an everyday basis get about 10,000 to 15,000 people without any marketing coming to our website. A lot of people just discover. Lots of people actually go and tell us they want to get their homes built. Lots of people find their homes on our website and tell us that, well, they like a specific design. They want to make their kitchens look like this. They want to make their living rooms look like this, and so forth and so on. The beauty is that all of those pictures are effectively built with products from our catalog. So you can guarantee that within 10 to 12 weeks, you can actually literally convert your home and make it like that. So the designer gets that benefit. They get all this 2D, 3D design experience. They can design on the Livspace platform, material selection. They can customize to crazy amount of, like our kitchens and wardrobes have millions and millions of sort of SKUs. We work with about 150 suppliers by now. We're rapidly expanding there. I think now starting to look at European suppliers and I think Chinese, Southeast Asian suppliers as well, so that we can bring in that class of expertise into India. And because it's e-commerce, so you can actually aggregate a lot of customer demand. So our ability to actually go and talk to someone is a little easier because you're seeing so much demand in the market. You understand choice, logon ko chahiye kya hota hai, so forth and so on. And really, the company right now at one level is built around all the skills that interior designers, turnkey contractors, project managers require to do their jobs well. So think of Livspace as a company which for the customer is very, very, very e-commerce, but really for the designer, project manager, even supplier for that matter, it's like making sure that their life is easier. Their life is like 10 to 20 times better. If their life is 10 to 20 times better, customer experience automatically will be better. So that's sort of the experience that we are creating. This is a little bit of a snapshot of how we do it. So I can try and show it to you. So I built this. So if you see this is a property in Bangalore, and if you search it, all you have to do is to select the layout. We've already created for that layout all these looks. So if you see, so all these things, they're all coming from our catalog. And by now we've got designs created for about 17,000 apartment complexes in India. So all of Bangalore, all of Hyderabad, Pune, Northwest Bombay, jitna bhi built out properties hain, we've sort of pretty much covered all of them. And we've got like whole host of these choices that we've created for these, these specific designs. But as I said, the good news is that everything that you see in that picture is coming from our catalog. The customer can go in and say, yeah, I want to buy this, which is e-commerce. Or you can go in and say, ki, mujhe isko thoda sa customize karna hai, right? So then what happens is that we'll pull in that specific layout on our backend tool. This is a tool for designers. And all these products that you see, this is basic arrangement. Na? That's what AutoCAD helps you do, SketchUp and all that. So, but if you see, all of this is now on the web. This is not happening on my desktop, right? And you can press a little button and it generates this 3D view. You can go inside and you can do all kind of crazy things. So it'll run for you and all that. And all this is happening on the internet now. So you can see that. So what we can effectively do is that the designer, which imagine doing this thing on 3ds Max, V-Ray, Uni, usme itna time lagta tha. Now you can actually just come to our website, just get certified, create a 2D layout, just press a button, generate this thing, send this thing to the consumer. The consumer can go to their website, press a button, see all of this thing. All of this thing can happen in one day, right? So if the consumer can get this class of experience in one day and make a decision, this whole time that it takes, 3 to 4 months, technically the decision can be made in one day. So that's the kind of thinking. Now it may not take one day, but if we can, so we are launching this experience within weeks from now. And I think the spirit of the conversation is for those of you who are in the industry, whether it's interior designers, project managers, turnkey contractors, suppliers, we'd love to sort of talk to you and help have you become part of our journey. So that's that. Let's see. So this is a mobile experience. Mostly what we showed you. So people come on their phones, they can discover looks. And if you see here, this specific one, you can actually find properties that we've already created. So you can go inside and you can click a button and you can see pictures, real pictures of properties that Livspace would have created. You can go visit them to the extent that people are allowing you to visit them. Or you can visit those properties with our own interior designers, because this is a touchy-feely industry, right? So people really want to see the quality of work we've done. So a whole host of things. This sort of is the experience that I just showed you, right? So in Bangalore, for example, in a little area, we've got designs pre-created for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of apartment blocks. So it's Mantri Espana is another one. You can come and select. And we offer like 3 sort of choices for consumers. So I can tell you that this was actually created by an Italian designer, right? This was created by a Thai designer. This was created out of our studio in Bangalore. So depending upon your budget, you can actually literally in 12 weeks now make your home look like an apartment in Milan to all the way which is designed in India. Just make the payment. We'll actually make sure that it happens within 12 weeks. Because all of these products, whether it's designed by someone in Milan or designed by someone in Delhi, they're all coming from our catalog. So you've made this entire problem part design, part e-commerce. So that's the beauty of internet. Scale bahut aa jata hai usme. So that's that. I mean, these are some real examples I thought I'll picture. This is actually my own home. I have a place in Sarvpriya Vihar. So if you see this, the left thing, it was actually built in a studio that we work with in Milan. And within a matter of 12 weeks, it sort of moved from there to here. And this is someone in Gurgaon, similar experience, someone in Bombay, I think. Just look at the beauty of things. And it's very, very, very quick. So this class of experience we are bringing now to the industry. More pictures for you. And as I mentioned, I think the amount of customization that we are actually able to introduce on the platform is massive, right? So the catalog consists of all these elements, whether it's decor elements, finishes, of course, all the furniture, flooring, false ceiling, going on. Massive amount of, choices available on the modular side, and Gopal has done such a fantastic job. So we really had to make sure that we work with someone from the industry to be able to bring in all the expertise from which you guys have created into our company. So effectively what we've done is taken the whole modular industry, moved it to the web, made sure that our backend, जो supplier side है, we've created a software such that our internet portion is deeply integrated with the ERP. So whatever changes you're making here doesn't actually change their work processes. So the industry scales really well. This is like another range that we're launching on the wardrobe side. Whole host of designers. I mean, I think the spirit of this slide is that there are some designers who work with us, but we learned very, very quickly that the fastest way we'll scale is if we work with people from the industry. So we are working or trying to work very closely with NIFT, NID, CEPT, and so forth and so on, such that designers who are coming out from those institutes are actually more trained on our experience, such that it's easy for them, and they can actually make more money, assuming that they work with us. I sort of talked a little about this. So yeah, the point being that on the modular side, massive amount of choice that I think sort of we are bringing to the table, and we're launching a storage, component very, very soon. Massive amount of catalog on the furniture side. So if you can see this. And the idea really behind the slide is that our primary understanding was for the customer, it really doesn't matter whether it's an internet company or it's a phone app. The customer are effectively solving a problem. They really want to make their homes look beautiful. They want to make it done in a predictable way. Maybe it's a couple who actually just had their baby. Maybe they bought their second home. Maybe they're remodeling. Ya kitchen karwa rahe hain, jo bhi karwa rahe hain. We as a brand will never succeed if we cannot understand both the online and the offline components. So I think that's what we went ahead and built. This is an experience. So it roughly takes us about 10 to 12 weeks to get the whole thing done. And the consumers exhibit all that behavior on the internet, tell us what they like. Within a matter of couple weeks, like the industry, they make a 10% payment. It moves very quickly. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks for them to actually get the whole thing designed. And we place an order on our e-commerce systems in about 4 to 6 weeks. It takes about 4 weeks for the manufacturers, or in some instances, we have started holding a little bit of inventory. It goes into the home. The whole installation process is managed by a project manager. Takes about 2 to 3 weeks. So for us to get a full home done from the time someone tells us start the project to done takes about 12 to 13 weeks. And we've done about a few hundred. So we've done about 500 to 600 rooms now all over Bangalore, Gurgaon, Greater Noida. First one came up in Bombay last week. And consistently, we've seen that we can get a full home done in about 15 to 16 days. Kitchen, sort of the modular elements in about 8 to 10 days. A room takes us about 2 days. So it's very, very, very quick for this class of industry. So yeah, that's sort of pretty much the end of my conversation. But hopefully, the spirit and the emotion that I think Gopal, I want to communicate is that we exist because you guys exist, right? In part, what we are doing is bringing the beauty of the internet to this industry, which for which technology actually is stuck largely in the 80s and 90s. So the spirit of my presentation is that whether you work on the supply side or you're an interior designer or a project manager or modular designer, Livspace really as a platform would love to talk to you guys because really the idea is to make your life easier. So yeah, that's sort of the end of my conversation, but I'm happy to take questions should you have any. Sure. Sure, it's high. So it's the highest that you can experience for an e-commerce company. A room is typically anywhere from a lakh to 3 lakhs, depending upon the catalog depth. So a home would be in the early teens, 10 se 12 lakh, right? So 10 to 12 lakhs for an average home. That's the segment that we are going after right now, right? So it's the same couple who's buying their first home, shops on Flipkart, etc., etc. We are launching 2 more ranges in time to come. So one which will be a purely modular, right? So that will be a price point innovation. The other is we are probably tweaking the fabrics, the finishes, so forth and so on, to actually cater to homes in the 5 to 6, 7 lakh segment, and then launching a premium one, which is the 25 lakh plus. So we really want to sort of cover the whole range. But today the sector that we are going after is someone who's just bought their first home for 75 lakhs in Gurgaon or 60 lakhs in Bangalore or a crore in Bombay, so that class. And roughly the interior cost is around, you guys would know, 10 se 15% aata hai mota mota, right, for a full home. Our kitchens range all the way from 2 to 25, right? So pretty much full service. So you can get the entire range. We're doing a lot of innovation on the wardrobe storage side as well. But the idea really is that you get lots of price point, lots of choice, such that all the consumers can actually, experience these products. So it's a good question. So. Sure. Right. Which wise? Price wise? Right. So that's an excellent question actually. So the only thing that we charge the consumer is for the products. So much like any other e-commerce company, the consumer is really only paying for the products that they buy. Pretty much everything else is free of cost. So everything else is free of cost for designers or project managers or the consumer, right? So that's the innovation in the company. So we spent about a year and a half to create what I didn't show you everything, but what we've created, and we said that this is free of cost. The way Livspace will make money is actually by selling the products, and if designers choose to work for us, they actually work on a salary and an incentive. But lots of designers who actually don't work with us and partner with us get a commission. So it's a pretty standard. Like the design industry works like that, right? So, but where we want to take this is that if it is your original design, then we can actually give you credit as well. So let's say you created a beautiful apartment in Bombay, right? And it fit 2 BHK, 1300 square feet, right? Now layouts are very standardized. So architectural industry is reasonably standardized, right? So if the same design with a little bit of tweak will go to someone's home, let's say in Gurgaon, then I as Livspace should not take the credit. I should give the credit to the designer who came up with the idea. So you see, the spirit is slightly different. We are like, we will exist because people will use our technology and people will buy products from our catalog, not because we will take the interior designer's job. We will actually prosper if more and more designers actually come and work with us, whether as a partner, as an affiliate, as a franchisee, inshallah one day. So, आप तो पूरा product roadmap ही बता दूँगा. Yeah, so no, excellent question. So, so on the catalog, there is the services element as well, which is not showing up here. But for us to do this thing, what we've done is that we have about 35 to 50 type of services on our catalog to make sure that this thing comes together. So we've tied up with some great turnkey contractors who've done good work. So we can do flooring, kitchen demolition, basic kind of civil work already starting. Electrical points, वो तो बहुत पहले से कर रहे थे वो सारी की सारी चीजें. So there is I think it's not that we will actually completely re-architect your home for you. That is not the company that we are building. But at least everything that is needed to give you a good interior design experience, right? Which includes reasonable amount of civil work as well, right? Upalji, that's probably suffice. Wall painting, wallpaper, faladam kana XYZ. So those things that you saw obviously take a certain element of services for it to come together. So typically what happens is that once the process starts, our project manager is working with the assemblers, which are furniture assemblers. They're working with all the modular fitters. They're working with a bunch of service providers as well to make sure this thing comes together. The customer is only interacting with the project manager, right? So we take care of that. So that's one, to answer your question. The second is absolutely. So what I showed you would be absolutely the same way for fitted furniture as well. So you will get the same experience for any modular installation as well. And if you could see that, I'll tell you the theory as well. So the technology theory is that when you take it from 2D to 3D, you're just creating a Z-axis. It's a Z dimension that you're creating, right? So, but if you can create the wall and you can put a picture on the wall, you can fundamentally put a kitchen module on the wall as well, right? The kitchen module obviously comes with some degree of rules. What will go with what? And I'm sure, like, तब तो थोड़ा बहुत आ गया मुझे कि चीज़ें कहाँ पे होती हैं, what do you start with and so forth and so on. So inside Livspace, we've actually already created that. We just haven't launched it. So we will launch the full home design thing first within weeks, and then hopefully something for the modular market extremely soon, very, very, very soon. So that's the next thing. So the idea is that as a designer, you really have to only come to one platform. And I think the other interesting question that you asked was, do we really want to market product from our own catalog? That's not even the idea, right? So should you as an industrial designer create your own range? Actually, we might be the best platform for you to market it. And we'll give you royalty on top of that.
Don't mind me interrupting.
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
Have to,
No, sure. Yeah.
We can, debate it in the lunch session.
We can talk separately. Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.